What we did is we put together this presentation for you. It's a pitch deck of about 14 different slides. It's going to help you understand the Arizona Equity Crowdfunding provisions. If you're interested in using equity crowdfunding and you're looking for a fantastic resource, look no further. You found us, fundmybusinessaz.com. Check out the slides. If you've got continued interest, feel free to email me at nick@fundmybusinessaz.com, or you can call me on my cell phone. That number is 602-909-6677. Thank you. Our crowdfunding portal is designed to help entrepreneurs raise capital utilizing Arizona's crowdfunding law by connecting Arizona residents with online access to quality investment opportunities. You might ask yourself, what is equity crowdfunding? Well, equity crowdfunding is the use of small amounts of capital from a large number of individuals to finance a new business venture. This slide is going to talk about crowdfunding differences. When it comes to crowdfunding, there are 4 different types. There's equity-based, lending-based, rewards-based, and donation-based. I'll start with donation-based. This is like GoFundMe. This is with no expectation of a financial return. Rewards-based, you've probably seen Kickstarter or Indiegogo where they offer swag. You're going to get a t-shirt, a mug, a cooler, something like that, but you're not going to get any equity in those companies. The other way is lending-based. Lending-based is where you're actually creating a loan with principal and interest payments over a period of time. And then the fourth is equity-based. This is where you expect a financial return, you get a percentage ownership, it's the fastest growing category, and it raises the most amount of money per campaign. What we do here at fundmybusinessaz.com is both equity-based and lending-based crowdfunding. Equity crowdfunding, the problem and the solution. Here was the problem with equity crowdfunding as we knew it. Non-accredited investors were not allowed to invest in small businesses. There was no general solicitation, and that including all different types, radio, newspaper, magazine, internet, mailings, were not allowed. Good deals were only available to accredited investors and were not made known to the general public. So here's the solution with equity crowdfunding. Now, non-accredited investors are allowed to invest in small businesses, and we can use a certain amount of general solicitation over the internet so long as it's done using an approved web portal like fundmybusinessaz.com, where we connect investors together online with quality investment opportunities that meet Arizona crowdfunding standards. Governor Ducey signs the equity crowdfunding bill. So who do we have to thank for equity crowdfunding here in Arizona? Well, let's look first to our governor. Governor Doug Ducey signed House Bill 2591 on April 15th of 2015. This House bill allows companies to raise up to $2.5 million and allows non-accredited investors to invest up to $10,000 annually. Originally drafted by Representative Jeff Winokur and then co-sponsored by Senator David Farnsworth, this is a landmark piece of legislation that will empower small businesses and entrepreneurs and give them wider access to capital. Other community leaders were involved as well. Rick Murray from the Arizona Small Business Association, as well as Steven Zylstra from the Arizona Tech Council. Entrepreneurs have wanted this for a really long time. Company rules and requirements. Here are a few company rules and requirements. Who can participate? Only Arizona residents. Investment limit. Non-accredited investors can invest up to $10,000 in a calendar year, and if the investor is accredited, there is no monetary limitation to his investments in a calendar year. What is the definition of an accredited investor? Well, generally, residents that earn $200,000 annually or $300,000 for a married couple or have a net worth of $1 million, excluding their primary residence, can invest any amount over a 12-month period. The SEC estimates approximately 9% of American households are considered accredited investors. These regulations could therefore open up to 90% more American households to use this type of investment, vastly expanding the capital available to small businesses. This allows an average Arizonian the opportunity to easily invest in both Main Street businesses as well as exciting new startups. So what type of companies are allowed? Corporations, Multi-member LLCs are limited partnerships that are formed in Arizona. All Arizona residents must provide evidence of their proof of citizenship in the form of a valid driver's license, a voter ID card, tax records on their residence here. Also, businesses are going to have to validate that 80% of their gross revenues from operating expenses will stay in Arizona, that 80% of their assets are located in Arizona, and that 80% of the net money raised will be used in Arizona business operations, and their principal office also will be in Arizona. Here are the offering limits. Up to $1 million in a 12-month period without a financial audit, or between $1 million and up to $2.5 million in a 12-month period, so long as the small business has a completed financial audit from the prior fiscal year. Sales to officers, directors, or 10% shareholders do not count towards the total. And also there's a 6-month separation from other offerings of similar securities to avoid integration. Small businesses can solicit anyone so long as they are verifiably Arizona residents, whether they're accredited or non-accredited. Those small businesses can distribute limited notice with a link to the approved web portal, such as fundmybusinessaz.com. Small businesses must complete a disclosure document. That disclosure document will include compliance with state and federal laws, the total amount to be raised, including limitations on the use of funds, the investment amount per investor, business plan, financial projections, assumptions utilized, and the potential for risks involved. Additionally, an escrow agreement will outline the additional terms, including that the funds will be held in escrow until the small business hits 80% of their targeted raise, and they must do this in the time frame of no less than 21 days and no longer than 1 year. As far as reporting, the small business must give a free quarterly update to the investors so long as there's securities outstanding. There are some companies that are ineligible, including investment companies, public companies, companies with bad boys, and there are no blind pools. As far as investors who purchase this stock or debt, they must hold that for a minimum of 9 months and then can only sell to other Arizona residents. FundMyBusinessAZ.com Value Add Proposition. Here's our value add proposition. The FundMyBusinessAZ.com portal uses advanced technology to connect investors together online with quality investment opportunities that meet Arizona Equity Crowdfunding provisions. The FundMyBusinessAZ.com web portal offers education and consulting services related to Arizona's equity crowdfunding provisions, assistance in preparing and reviewing disclosure documents, and posting of crowdfunding projects on our website. The FundMyBusinessAZ.com has an exclusive Fund-Ready 10-step certification process for vetting our entrepreneurs for compliance as well as increasing their probability of success. The FundMyBusinessAZ.com website features include escrow and accounting services, e-signature capabilities, payment processing, bad actor checks, anti-money laundering oversight, as well as an online deal room for confidential document sharing. Investors can view all of the entrepreneur's due diligence quickly and easily. The FundMyBusinessAZ.com web portal offers fund readiness assessments as a service and offers resources to our entrepreneurs as appropriate. The FundMyBusinessAZ.com web portal provides structure and simplifies the equity crowdfunding process. We are open to all legal industries, and we make it easy for investors to make an educated investment decision on our portal. FundMyBusinessAZ.com Fund-Ready 10-step certification process, and marketing checklist. Here are the 10 steps. First, the entrepreneur or small business will provide us their company information, and this will include articles of organization, certificate of good standing, as well as their operating agreement to verify that they are for sure an Arizona entity. Number 2, they're going to certify that they're an Arizona project. We have them do that by signing a letter of estation, acknowledging they're working with us and using the Arizona intrastate offering exemption, and they'll acknowledge that they're also primarily based here in Arizona with the intention of creating jobs in Arizona and keeping the investments within the state of Arizona. Number 3 is determining the offer price. This is if they're raising up to $1 million, they can do that without a financial audit. Between $1 million and $2.5 million, they would need a completed financial audit. And there's also some language in there that if a new director or CEO comes in and puts in 10% or more, it's not held against the total amount that they're raising. Number 4 is complete the state form. We will help them with that process. Number 5 is one of the largest scopes of work, and that is completing the disclosure document. It's very similar to a private placement memorandum, except we've renamed it disclosure document. This is going to go into great detail about the management, their experience, the industry they serve, the projections, how they arrived at those projections, the possibility of risk, and even further than that, if they plan on bringing in more money down the road, if there's a possibility of dilution for the initial investors. So it's a pretty large scope of work. The next item is the escrow agreement. The escrow agreement, we use the disclosure document to create the escrow agreement and then add in the equity crowdfunding provisions, such as that the entrepreneur or small business needs to hit 80% of their goal in order to actually get the money. Once the 80% is realized, then we as a service help them issue their subscription agreements or their stock certificates or their debt obligation, however they've set it up on the front end, so that at the time that the money is given to the entrepreneur, the collateral for the investors is realized at the same time. Number 7, the small business must complete a bad boy questionnaire. Anybody who's actively managing that small business will have to complete a bad boy questionnaire. We're going to do some research and make sure that they have not committed any fraud or had any legal proceedings or had any license revoked previously, because those individuals are not allowed to use Arizona Equity Crowdfunding provisions. Number 8 is we're going to bring in a third-party CPA. This third-party CPA is not controlled by the issuer. It's not controlled by the fundmybusinessaz.com platform. The third-party CPA must review the small business's projections and make sure that they are reasonable, that they are in concert with the industry that they serve, and then that CPA would be required to draft a letter to fundmybusinessaz.com acknowledging that they feel that the projections are reasonable. The small business must complete a brand package. This is their social marketing plan, which include a professional video, a clearly defined message, the outreach that they plan to use over the internet, whether it be email, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, how many touches, what's their targeted audience, how do they plan to reach them. That's all part of their complete brand package. And then the last step, the final step, step number 10, is to meet with a third-party attorney. This attorney is going to review every scope of work that they've completed to date and make sure they've not made any promises or guarantees, that everything looks reasonable, that they've met the equity crowdfunding provisions, and then that attorney will give us a letter saying that they believe that reasonably the small business meets the Arizona Equity Crowdfunding provisions. Now we're going to move on to the marketing schedule. Now this is very subject. It's subject to how prepared the small business or the entrepreneur is. I've got down here they need to plan their pitch. That would take anywhere from 1 to 10 days. Creating that pitch would be anywhere from 11 to 30 days. Then we have a fundraising period of anywhere from 31 to 120 days. And then we have a post-campaign of between 121 and 130 days. Now these times vary widely depending on how prepared the entrepreneur is. Having a complete business plan with projections is necessary to get started. Entrepreneurs that need assistance with fund readiness activities are referred to our sister company, which is Fund Ready Advisors. Nick Andrews, CEO, and information about our sponsors. I'm your host, Nick Andrews. I'm the founder and CEO of fundmybusinessaz.com. We are Arizona's first and only approved equity crowdfunding portal for the state of Arizona. Again, we were created to help entrepreneurs raise capital utilizing Arizona's newly passed crowdfunding law that was signed by our governor as a job creation initiative. This portal, our portal, is open to any legal industry within the state of Arizona. A little background on me. I've owned and operated my own real estate brokerage here in Scottsdale since 1999. On average, we've had about 45 agents hanging their license there. We do commercial, land, business opportunities. I think we currently have 33 residential agents hanging their license with our firm doing residential sales. I have an amazing partner, David Prom, who's kind of the guy behind the scenes. He doesn't get as much PR, but he's definitely a huge part of what we're doing here at fundmybusinessaz.com. I want to give him a shout out. I'm going to take a moment and give a shout out to our sponsors here. Our first sponsor is NB Andrews and Associates, located in Scottsdale, Arizona. Full service real estate brokerage, residential, commercial, land, and business opportunities. Our second sponsor is Fund Ready Advisors. Fund Ready Advisors is a capital readiness company, and I'm going to go into more detail about them on the next slide. Our third sponsor is Alliance Bank of Arizona. We really appreciate Ed Zito and Mark Roberts' support. They were early adopters. Ed Zito was helping draft the legislation very early on, and Mark Roberts has been fantastic to work with. Our fourth sponsor is Arizona Small Business Association, previously run by Rick Murray, who's a mentor of mine, advocate, was hugely helpful in getting us approved. Very thankful for Rick. And now ASBA is being led by Jack Lunsford. Very thankful for his leadership and newfound friendship. He's a great guy. Our fifth sponsor is Arizona Tech Council. Steven Zylstra, like I mentioned earlier, he was in the picture when the governor signed this legislation into law. He was at the meeting with Senator Farnsworth when they were pushing this legislation through. He's a huge advocate of equity crowdfunding. We're thankful for his sponsorship. And last but not least is the Arizona Collaboratory, run by Aaron Baer and Donovan Ostrom, kind of the guy behind the curtain there. But the Arizona Collaboratory and fundmybusinessaz.com recently announced a strategic partnership where we're helping more small businesses get fund ready so they can use either the fundmybusinessaz.com portal or other portals that raise capital for over $2.5 million. Fund Ready Advisors, a capital readiness company. So Fund Ready Advisors is a sister company for fundmybusinessaz.com. Fund Ready Advisors, again, is a capital readiness company. When people come to us looking to use equity crowdfunding, chances are they're not really ready for crowdfunding and they're going to need some resources. So we created Fund Ready Advisors, and this is the scope of work that Fund Ready Advisors and the resources that we can offer our small businesses and our entrepreneurs. Crowdfunding consulting. We can help with a one-page teaser sheet, sometimes referred to as a tombstone. A capital readiness assessment to see what they still need help with. We can help them with their executive summary. We can help them with their complete brand package, which includes a writer that defines the overall message for the campaign, a graphic designer who defines the overall look. Number 3, a professional video that tells the story. Number 4, a social marketing plan over 30, 60, and 90 days. If they need help, we can help them with a basic business plan, website development, professional grade video production, professional presentation deck, professional grade pro forma, a standard business plan, or a certified business plan. We can help them with their private placement memorandum, which is also in this space commonly referred to as the disclosure document. There's usually a 6 to 12 month incubation engagement, and there's also something called the signature package, which is all inclusive. Business case study. We have an entrepreneur, and he has a goal of raising $600,000, and he's offering 300,000 shares of preferred stock, which represents a 30% ownership stake in his company. The stated minimum investment is 1,000 shares at a cost of $2 per share, or $2,000. Individual investors can invest up to $10,000 or more if they can verify that they are accredited investors. This entrepreneur will reach his goal of $600,000 if 300 Arizona residents invest $2,000 each. Our entrepreneur financial projections estimate that the company will increase in value 5 to 7 times in the next 5 years. The industry that he serves is growing. The entrepreneur has a strong proven management experience with significant core knowledge of the industry. His business model is a disruptive technology that only needs a small fraction of the industry sales to be successful. So If an investor invests $2,000 in this company and this entrepreneur is able to reach his stated financial projections in 5 years, the stock value would increase from $2,000 today to somewhere between $10,000 and $14,000 in 5 years from now. So what we know, and here's my disclosure, there's going to be some winners and there's going to be some losers. So you got to do your due diligence on the management and the business. Investors may earn a very nice return, but remember that investing in small business is risky. Real estate case study number 2. We're going to do a real estate case study real quick. Here's our entrepreneur. This is the assumptions. This entrepreneur ties up an income-producing property. He finds a local lender to give him a 50% loan towards a purchase price. He then finds a management company that is a recognized leader to manage that income-producing property. He then chooses to use equity crowdfunding to raise the remaining 50% equity. This entrepreneur is able to purchase that income-producing property with very little of his own money. Using the cash flow as leverage from the income property will pay the debt service, including P&I, taxes, insurance, and management fees. The remainder of the income would be split equally between the entrepreneur and the equity investors. The crowdfunding equity investors can earn an above-average return from the cash flow, and it is secured by real estate. Thank you for your time today. Again, we help Arizona small businesses with their capital raise needs by connecting them with investors online. Companies that we help are true startups, as well as companies that are post-revenue and are seeking a second or third round of funding by providing them additional resources to raise capital. We offer personalized resources. We have a cost-effective come-to-market strategy for each of our entrepreneurs. Our structure is easy to use, and we're looking forward to hearing from you. Come to our website, fundmybusinessaz.com, and click the Raise Capital button. There's a one-page questionnaire there that will help us understand what your needs are, and we'll follow up with you. If you're an investor and you're looking to invest in small businesses, sign up, and we will keep you informed as new projects come available. Thank you for your time.